He's one of the best defensive players in the NFL. But when the season wraps up, Minnesota Vikings defensive end Jared Allen does not stop working. He's busy building custom homes for wounded warriors with the foundation he started as a way to thank our nation's heroes. And one of those heroes he just thanked with a new home is Staff Sergeant Kenneth Champlin. And both men join us now. Gentlemen, great to have you here this morning.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
All right, Jared, I'm going to start with you. Tell us a little bit about the Home for Wounded Warriors charity that you have.
Yeah, I started back in 2009. I come from a long line of military veterans in my family. My grandfather served 23 years in the Marine Corps. My little brother's currently serving in the Marine Corps. Uncles, older brother, all are vets. And so I came on back from a USO tour in 2009, and I just knew that I wasn't physically serving my country myself, that I needed to do something to give back. And one kind of thing I was focusing on is when I come home is how do I define my American dream, or how does my American dream start? And for me, it's a functional home for me and my family. And so a buddy of mine and a fellow vet who helped us found this foundation, we kind of started racking our brains and came up with the idea to build or remodel homes and make them handicap accessible, specifically for the injuries of that specific vet at the time. And so since 2009, we've been going, and
wow.
We just gave Ken his home a couple of days ago, free and clear.
Well,
and,
let me stop you there, because I'd like to hear from Ken about this. So, Sergeant, you were injured by an IED, and this was a pretty catastrophic injury. As I understand, you lost both legs below your knee. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Which made it very difficult for you to get around everywhere, but particularly your apartment, I was reading. Tell us a little bit about that.
The apartment we were currently living in was pretty small, and so small, in fact, that using the wheelchair was even kind of out of the question, just because of maybe perhaps the layout of the apartment and so many narrow doorways and things of that nature. And I would kind of just put the wheelchair in a corner and let it collect dust, because it wasn't even, there wasn't even really a way that I could use it. So it did make things a little bit more difficult.
And you finally got that home, and now it's a home that is built specifically for you and your injuries in mind. And how did you feel when you received that?
Oh, I just felt blessed, and just overwhelmed with the amount of support, and Mr. Allen and his foundation and everybody involved with it. Not only is the house great, but the people behind it that made it happen. It just, it was a wonderful feeling. It's definitely a stress off my shoulders.
I can imagine. And Jared, very quickly, what's it like were you there when you handed over the keys to him?
Oh, absolutely. I was there. I'm the one that called Ken to let him know that we chose him. I was there when we actually purchased the house, and then before we remodeled it, I took him through, and I actually played a little, he was trying to sell me on it, and we'd already bought it. And so when I told him, we played a little trick on him, let him know we already bought the house for him.
Jared.
And then I was there to hand the keys over to him with, like I said, with everybody that's been behind us, with our great sponsors and everything. And it's just the most humbling experience when you get to say thank you in such a way that we kind of take for granted in our everyday lives. And again, for me, that's why we do it. I get to sit here and play a game for a living, and drink my morning coffee, because men and women like Ken over here are fighting overseas to protect our freedoms, so we can sit at home and do the little things. And in my opinion, if they come home and their house becomes a hindrance to them, or a gentleman who's a double amputee is living in an upstairs apartment with no elevator, to me that's a disservice. And it's my obligation as an American to make sure they're taken care of when they get home.
You're doing a wonderful thing, and we appreciate it. We'll have more information on our website. Jared, thanks for joining us. You're a hero, and Staff Sergeant Champlin, you are a true hero as well.